In today's video, I'm going to be giving you juicy tips to win each and every single game modifier, as well as secret mechanics that are inside Squad Busters that you need to know to win your matches. Starting it off, I'm just going to give you the juiciest tip to start it out, because apparently 90% of the community does not even know. You didn't look through the tutorial and pay attention. The turbo boost also increases your attack speed when fighting, so if you hold down the turbo, you are also going to be attacking faster, as well as when you move it to move, you use the turbo to move, it moves faster. So hold the turbo down, make sure you have a lot of turbo towards the end of the game for the in-game fights. While you're standing still, hold down the turbo and watch your army attack faster. Next up, we're going to get into the first game modifier here. It's going to be Double Trouble. In this game modifier, you're going to want to make sure you keep fusing your characters so that your chest costs can be minimal. The more you fuse, the cheaper your chest costs are going to be, and it's going to be very expensive if you have 8 troops onto the field and none of them are fused up. It's going to be really hard to get your next gold to be able to open up that chest, because it's going to scale all the way up to 50 gold max, and you can hit that 50 gold chest very quickly in this game mode. Focus on farming and scaling up your army. That is super important in this game mode. You are going to need to farm up, scale your army. I wouldn't fight until realistically the end game, because if you do get picked off in the mid game, there is a lot of snowball potential in this game mode, especially for the people who are farming up very fast for the first 2 minutes of the match, and then you will be severely behind and you are going to pretty much lose in this game mode. The next game mode is Loot Goblin Rush. Colt or bow early will easily be able to take down these goblins. However, I cannot stress enough, do not chase a goblin all the way across the map in the early game and then you're all of a sudden behind because you weren't able to clear it out. You only got a little bit. Don't worry about that. Focus more on getting to the middle of the map, clearing out the blue boxes. By the way, secret tip number 2 that probably people didn't even know: every single blue box inside of Squad Busters is going to have a boot, which is going to increase your speed. It's going to be a turbo boot, which is going to be absolutely massive value for you as you zoom around the map and clear out these goblins. The more blue boxes you clear out, if you can get 3 of them early, you're going to have 3 turbos. If you have a bow, you have a Colt, you'll easily be able to clear down these goblins. This is pretty much a farming simulator. You don't even need to fight. If you get the turbos quick, if you avoid fighting in the early game, if you get all the speed boots early, and you are able to just clear down all of these goblins, you will easily finish top 5, potentially even finishing top 1, because you'll have so much gold, you'll be able to have so many characters, you'll be able to control the middle towards the end game, and you will easily be able to win. The next game modifier is Pinata Party. It's the same as Loot Goblin Rush. You're going to want Colt, or you're going to want bow. You're going to want the speed burst from the blue boxes. You're also going to want some tanks and some DPS or supports really later, but don't really get too many suppliers in this game mode because they are not going to give you any value. You do not really want to get a chicken or a goblin or anything like that that's going to really help you. The Pinata Party is going to give you a ton of value with clearing out the pinatas and then getting the loot from the pinatas, and that's going to easily be able to win you the match. Just continue to clear out pinatas and make your army stronger. Get your tanks later on, DPS early, clear out some pinatas, maybe get a primo, but not really in the early game. Then start getting your primos, start getting your tanks in the later game, and then you are going to be able to easily win this. At least finish in top 5 if you farm hard, farm early, get the blue boxes, get the speed boots, and then transition that into the end game. Secret tip number 5, use code Enchatin for massive value in the shop. Turbo Overload is our next game modifier. The big thing here with Turbo Overload is you do not want to get any chickens or any hog riders. They are going to give you zero value whatsoever. There are so many speed boots. Make sure you're going after them. You really almost don't need to prioritize blue boxes as well here because of the amount of speed boots and turbos that are going to be everywhere in this game mode. You are not going to need to worry about clearing out characters early. You want to focus on farming because everybody's going to be super fast in the late game. So what you want to do is you want to have a strong enough army to fight. This is going to be a late game fighting brawl in the middle of the map. You also do not want to use your turbo towards the late game to start running around unless it's running away from opponents or getting positioning. You're going to want to use that in the late game fights as an attack animation when you are standing still, and you definitely also want to use it to move around to reposition yourself as everybody is going to be zooming around the map. The next game modifier is Tree Giants, and let me tell you something about this. A fused bow or a colt is going to work absolute wonders in this game mode to clear down the trees. You want to be farming to get bow mainly or colt, somebody who's going to do a ton of damage to these tree giants and give you a ton of gems. When you take down a tree giant, you're going to get a massive amount of gems. You do not even need to fight players in this game mode to be successful. You are going to want to prioritize attackers, DPS, then all around troops so that you are able to get a nice combination of units to clear out these tree giants. Ranged DPS characters are crazy good in this game mode as they are able to stay away from the tree giant and clear it out very, very fast. Focus on getting as many boots from the blue boxes as possible so you have attack turbo, not only to clear out the tree giant, but then to be able to run through the tree giant's gems, because people are going to be waiting for you to clear out the tree giant, then come in and steal your gems, and then get away. So you are going to need a lot of speed as well in this matchup, or in this game modifier, because you're not only going to need to use it to clear down the tree giant, you're going to need to then pick up the gems, and then you're going to need to run away from a squad that's waiting for you to clear it out and then steal everything from you and make sure that he clears your squad out as well. So you are going to need speed bursts in this game modifier. Spell Overload is our next game modifier here, and remember to pick up as many spells as possible and to use them. You do not need to worry about spells in this game mode. They are everywhere. If you have a wizard unlocked, I know a lot of you don't, but if you are going to start getting the wizard unlocked, that's going to be a priority in this game mode. But if not, make sure when you get into fights, use a spell. You can use it early, you can use it often, you can then get another spell as well inside of the map. Make sure you're fighting around these and make sure that you're using a spell early, getting another one, you can use it, then you can get another one. Make sure you're fighting around when the spells pop up and you are taking advantage and full advantage of all of the spells in this game mode. One of the worst characters, and well, not only in the game, because we are going to be having a tier list in a day or two or a couple of days, however long that is, but do not get Greg in this game mode. Why? Because bombs clear trees. That's going to give you bonus secret mechanic number 3. Bombs are able to clear out trees. You're going to also be looking for trees that are right next to each other, so you can throw a bomb, you can clear out 2 trees, you can get the loot and move on. Greg, that's why I personally think Greg is not that great inside of Squad Busters, because bombs are able to be used to clear out trees. Gem Overload is our next game mode here. Farm. That's the name of the game. Get speed, farm up. DPS, range DPS is what you want here, but you're also going to want some all-rounders like some barbarians with some colts. You're going to want some witches. You're going to pretty much want in this game mode to just farm up as fast as possible. You're going to want your bow early as well to clear out as many troops as possible. You're going to get gems from everything. Fighting will lose you this game mode. That's just the bottom line. Every fight you take is another position or 2 you are going to end down in the leaderboards at the end of this match. This is all about farming. It's all about speed. It's all about efficiency in this game mode. Don't worry about fighting. Worry about speed, focus, and value. The next game mode is going to be Fusion Start. Almost every character is good for this game mode, but I would avoid people who don't do a lot of damage, aka defenders. I also wouldn't get, right off of the bat, a goblin. I also wouldn't get a chicken as well, as you're going to want this to be primarily either a barbarian, a cult, a bow, a bee. You're gonna want these characters first, or maybe even an epic early character as well as a fusion start to be able to take over the map very, very quickly and then move on to the mid game. That's what you're gonna want to do. You're gonna want a high damage in the early game with this fusion start. Don't take fights early. Couple it into a couple of farming. Make sure you get your blue boxes. Make sure you get your turbo boots, and then transition that into a smooth early to mid game. You do not want to fight early here in Fusion Start. Yes, you have a big troop. I mean, that's what you want. You want to get 2 more troops, and then you want to pick off the people. I'm sorry, if you got a chicken or a goblin as your fusion start and you see those people, well, not the chickens because they're going to run away from you, but if you see somebody who's got a goblin and you already got some speed boost, you got a fusion, you got, some colts, some bows, in there, go after them. Try to pick them off very fast, because what's going to happen is they have a super weak fusion and you are going to be able to take advantage of that super easily. And that's going to leave us to secret tip number 4. El Primo. What you want to do is make sure that the El Primo super, the circle over the El Primo, tells you in the purple how close he is to supering up. When that bar fills up, his next attack is going to be a super animation, which is going to be a stun. The same thing with Shelly. You are going to want to make sure that you have this loaded up pre-fight to take somebody out super fast. A bullet storm from Colt is also really good to queue up as well. If you can couple these 3 together, you are going to be able to absolutely annihilate somebody very, very quickly, especially if they have a weak squad to yours. This is a snowball game mode, and you can easily snowball, especially with a takedown or 2 in the mid game. Subscribe to the channel to learn about Desert World modifiers that are coming very soon on the channel.